Thank you all very much, and I will kick us off with the questions. Let's just talk at first with Chairman Nee about the proposed budget, which is nearly $80 million lower than the enacted budget of fiscal year 2026. The proposal realizes much of the savings that Congress envisioned when we put together the ADVANCE Act, which directed the agency to be more efficient in its licensing and oversight program, and in doing so, lowering those regulatory costs paid by industry. Will you please, Chairman Nee, briefly summarize and quantify key cost savings that are included in this budget that would have been as a result of the ADVANCE Act?
Thank you, Chairman Capito. Yes, I can do that. And I do want to echo one thing that I think is instrumental to the savings that I will describe momentarily is the committee's efforts to include enabling in the NRC's mission. That, in my view, is one of the most substantial aspects of how we're able to achieve these licensing and oversight program efficiencies. So as you mentioned, there are significant reductions through the provisions in the ADVANCE Act that we're building into how we do business. In licensing alone, we've reduced costs by approximately $6 million and 30 full-time equivalents. And in the oversight program, we've reduced costs around $9 million and 40 full-time equivalents. There are other reductions that we have implemented as well in the corporate support area. Again, another area of focus through the ADVANCE Act. So taken together with the ADVANCE Act alone, the focus on disciplined milestones and achieving efficiencies with that enabling mindset has enabled us to really deliver this value back to the country, again, so we can really execute our work at the best efficiency possible. And the one thing I would really add to that, bringing into my private sector experience to the agency and having a disciplined leadership model, companies that execute well on their objectives really look to streamline and simplify or eliminate the work that doesn't contribute to the desired outcome. And that's one thing that we're doing at the NRC. We really want to do less with less, because we found that over the years there are things that we have been doing that really do not materially contribute to mission outcomes. And those are the things that the Executive Director for Operations and his senior leadership team are really seeking to look for more and more as we execute our work, so that we're focusing on what is absolutely most important for safety and nothing more or nothing less than that.
Okay, thank you. Well, the next question I have is related to, several of you addressed this in your opening statements, and that's appropriate staffing levels. But many of you noted a lot of folks had left the agency. And so we're seeing a dramatically different NRC. So I want to start with Commissioner Crow on this one. The proposed budget for NRC appears to include a notable reduction of staff, yet the licensing and regulatory work that the agency is accomplishing is significant and ahead of schedule. What is your assessment, and you alluded to this in your statement, the staffing needs in the budget, and how does that align with future workload?
So thank you for the question, Senator. My concern in this regard is that these accelerated timelines and efficiencies that we've been able to achieve will be vulnerable to a dynamic in FY27 and beyond, where we have an increased workload that will require us to review multiple applications at the same time. Right now, we're able to meet some of these aggressive goals because we're pretty much in a one-at-a-time framework. When that becomes multiple applications for different technologies, that's going to be more challenging. I'm also concerned about having the right knowledge skill sets to appropriately review some of the advanced reactor technologies that we expect to come before the Commission.
Mm-hmm. Commissioner Weaver, what would be your perspective on that, on what is your view how the Commission intends to address these human capital challenges as it faces the updates and continues to do the licensing and regulatory work?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Chairman. In addition to the efficiencies that the Chairman mentioned, I think we're not simply doing the same old way of doing our work and trying to do it faster with fewer people. We're fundamentally changing the way we do licensing. We're using risk-informed, performance-based regulations and approaches. And what that means is we focus on what matters the most, and we spend our time on what really impacts safety. In that way, we can be more efficient, use less resources, and still have good safety outcomes. It's true we need to hire at this point, and I happened to check our website, we have, I think, 15 or more postings, and we're looking to hire approximately 80 people, primarily from outside the agency. We also have, I believe, 30 interns interns coming this summer. So we are hiring to fill the critical needs right now.
All right. Senator Whitehouse.